Smitty, Joe Burrow, he's got a calf injury, Smitty. We can't draft Joe Burrow, Smitty. He's injured. I mean, where do we fade him? Do we push him down to round 6 or 7, Smitty? You can't draft Joe Burrow, Smitty.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios.
It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live!
Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
Well, looky here, reindeer. Look what is right in front of our face right now. Joseph Cigar smoking Burrow with his wind and his hair in the wind. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. Look at this beautiful mop on his head. I paused it right where it needed to be paused. This magnificent man is out there running sprints, according to one report. He's jogging in this particular video that we have access to. But this is from Rappaport retweeting Charlie Goldsmith, who said Joe Burrow was throwing 50-yard deep balls downfield, and now he's running sprints sideline to sideline. Now, this is amazing news. This particular video on Twitter shows him jogging, not sprinting. So I don't know if that guy doesn't know what sprinting or jogging is, or we don't have a video of him actually sprinting, which would be even greater news. I don't know that I want him fully sprinting right now anyway. But Joe Burrow's running on the sideline looking like a boss right there. The only thing that he's not doing right there is smoking a cigar. That's all I'm going to tell you. Joe Burrow on the field running, was throwing a bit earlier. Starters are not expected to play tonight, but positive news. Seeing this before the rest of the team comes out to warm up. Joseph Cigar smoking Burrow is back, baby, and he's doing it live. And every single one of you doubters out there that let him fall to the 6th and 7th round, I feel bad for you, but it is what it is. We need some of you doubters and skeptics and petrified Peters and worried Williams and unaware Ungers to drive the value down of monsters like Joseph Cigar smoking Burrow. It is what it is. That's the nature of fantasy football, and we're always going to have pessimistic Peters that are constantly trying to drum up concern. But guess what we're not doing? We're not panicking at all. We're getting our cigars out. We're getting ready for football, and this man right here is going to the moon.
To the moon.
And there's a reason he is one of the best 4 picks in fantasy football 2023. You got Walker. You got Gibby, you got Fields, and you got Burrow. And look, this has not changed. And I've said to you guys, make sure you're drafting Fields too. This was a good opportunity for some of you to pivot a little bit, but not so much that you don't take advantage, as I've been saying for weeks and weeks, the 6th, maybe 7th round value of Joe Burrow, because there's been a new angle, a new draft lens to look through where this guy's going in the 6th, 7th round. And you got to take advantage, or you should have taken advantage of that as much as you could. Now, that ship has sailed. He's not going in the 6th or 7th round again. He'll probably not climb higher than the 5th or 6th round. Some people will be very skeptical still, concerned of re-injury. And to be honest with you, I mean, there's still that opportunity for this calf to start acting up again. But I'm not worried about it because it appears he gave it enough rehab and time off. And if you're rehabbing an injury like that on top of the time off, it's not like you just sit there with your foot up on a lazy boy smoking cigars. This man's smoking a cigar on an exercise bike. He's rehabbing. He's walking through it. He's strengthening the calf and getting it healthy. And the rehab mixed with the time off of running and exploding and having those muscles, explode and contract in ways that it can't when you're walking as much or when you're doing the rehab. He's making it stronger. He's not just putting, rest between the injury and now. He's been working and rehabbing. And so Joe Burrow is a panic level of probably 0 to 1 in terms of the calf. There's a little bit, I don't want to say 0, flat 0, but I'd say 0 to 1 just because you never know. You never know. Maybe he walked out a day too early, and he's going to be walking, and he's going to feel a little tingle again. And anybody that's have a torn calf, and my calf's still torn, I tear it all the time because I don't give it any time off. I went running the other night, probably a couple weeks too early, but I did it live, and I felt a little tingle again. And when you feel that, that's why you wear the sleeve. Joe Burrow put a sleeve on the day before it tingled. You got a little tingle. And you can kind of feel like, okay, this could go south, and then it just locks up. Doesn't mean that this guy is going to have any sort of recidivism. There's no odds that it's going to reoccur. Look, Aaron Rodgers had a calf issue. He sat out for like a couple days, came back, and he was fine. Joe Burrow hopped on it. There's some concern that it locked up more than, Aaron Rodgers' calf. But it's still, he's running and throwing 50-yard missiles down the field. I have 0 to 1 out of a scale of 10 of concern. Between 0 and 1 concern for Joe Burrow. Let's go. Angus dropping a super chat, says, Smitty, it's Angus. Thank you for dropping your usual super chat, my boy Angus. You are the man, the myth, the legend. Book is in the building. Appreciate you. File on in, everybody. File on in. Let's see here. Joe Burrow. What else we got? The phone lines will be open in 1 second. You guys can dial on into the show. Let me see if there are any exclusive membership comments or anything. I'm going to pull up the stream here alongside of it. So Joe Burrow. Again, this report right here from Ian Rappaport, who is retweeting this report here, says Joe Burrow on the field running and was throwing a bit earlier. Starters are not expected to play tonight, but positive news seeing this before the rest of the team comes out to warm up. And then this individual, which Ian Rappaport retweeted, Charlie Goldsmith, saying Joe Burrow was throwing 50-yard deep balls downfield. You don't throw deep balls that are 50-yard variety downfield if your calf isn't right and you're not running sprints on the sideline either. The franchise QB looks like he is doing just fine, is what the tweet says. So let me get a little drink here. God, sometimes I need to take a breath. Fitzy says, no, Joe Burrow's ADP will go back to normal. Maybe not. There'll still be some petrified Peters out there. I think he's in the round 5-6 territory. You have Burrow as QB4 in a 5-point passing TD league. I think he's not QB4. He's QB1 to 4, Steve. You can't. I can't even give you the 4. I can't give you the 3. I got to give you the 1 to 4. He's 1 to 4. He could be the number 1 quarterback in fantasy football 2023. That's why he is one of the best 4 picks in all of fantasy football 2023. These 4 videos, these individual videos, are on my YouTube channel on their own row, all by themselves. So if you haven't watched them, go watch them. Feel like the only one, not other than Smitty, not freaking out about Joe Burrow. Well, now nobody's going to be freaking out about it, bro. Now it's the freak out's over. I'm getting all the Burrow shares I can, says Bree. Yes. Peanut butter and waivers in the building. Appreciate you. Can't smoke a cigar while sprinting, only jogging. That might be why he's jogging here. But I paused this and I clipped this right when that hair was, it's just magnificent. The head of hair on this man is phenomenal. And the only thing missing from this photo is that cigar. And this guy right here, look, he's looking at his watch, timing him, going, good God, that was a fast run that Joe Burrow just had. Look at him. He's got the stopwatch going. He's walking because he can't keep up with them down the sideline is what that is right there. You know what I'm saying? Okay. King, appreciate you. Burrow, Chase, that's it. Yeah, that combo is fantastic. True Penguin says 4 months, or he's been a member for 4 months on the YouTube exclusive membership. So absolutely boss of a job right there. Appreciate you very much. Burrow's ceiling is low. Burrow's ceiling is low. Why is that? Why is Burrow's ceiling low, bro? Enlighten me, King. Enlighten me. I'm very, very curious to know why his ceiling's low. Is he growing a T-Law Meng? I don't know. He might be.
Law Dog Milk for Maines on sale this season. Soak your mane and win a league. Law Dog Milk.
Poor Soak win. It works for T-Law. Maybe Joe Burrow's growing a mane. I don't know. It looks very, very, very luscious and ready to rumble. That's all I'm going to say. Navage in the building. Appreciate Navage. Jackpot. Joe Burrow is back. That's right, AC. Appreciate you being here. I wanted Chase to slip if the calf thing was stretched out. Yeah, there was an opportunity to maybe, skate by and get Chase at 3 and 4. And it happened. I mean, there were a lot of people that did report back, showed draft logs, showed their draft report or whatever, their draft tracker, and you'd see Chase in the 3-4 a lot. Not a ton, but I'd say quite a bit. People are worried enough about Joe Burrow. Well, what about Chase? Now he can't be the number 1. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good job. Here we go. Let me show you this, Bob.
The stack above all stacks. It's time to drop the pancake emojis in the live chat.
It's pretty simple. It's pretty simple. Afternoon, Smitty and chat. What's up, sir? Appreciate you here. Fields over Burrow. I don't think you can say this, Tyler, with a straight face. It's more about they're near equal, bro. Especially with the cost of entries and different things. Like when Burrow was going ahead of Fields slightly, then it was like, okay, they're pretty even because Fields you get a little bit later. Now Burrow you get later, and so I don't think you can say this without a caveat or two. They're both absolute league-winning monsters, and Tyler, they can both be the number 1 quarterback in fantasy football 2023, which is why they are both in my top 4 best picks for 2023. All 4 of these independent, compartmentalized videos are on my YouTube channel on their own row, so go to my main YouTube homepage and watch all 4, for goodness sakes. If you haven't seen them, they're both there. They're both there, pal. All of these guys are league winners, okay? We're not choosing our children. They're all the best, okay? Burrow and Fields are both going to the moon, and that's why they're both absolute Mars men.
He's on a shuttle to Mars. Mars men.
You see Burrow on here, you see Fields on here. You know what I'm saying, Tyler?
Loads
okay?
Dropping and spinning aimlessly in space.
Why people worrying about Burrow, says Rock Out. Why people worrying about Burrow? Well, not anymore, but I mean, there's reason to worry, Rock Out, but I think people overreacted is the greater, I think, observation. But now, I think there'll be a couple petrified Peters still that are going to drive down the ADP a little bit or keep it down a little bit. I don't think he's climbing to the 4th round based on him throwing 50-yard missiles down the field and jogging like a boss on the sideline. But some people are going to be like, it could come back, and it could. It could. There's a shot that it could come back. But you take that gamble in fantasy football. You took that shot with Aaron Rodgers' calf injury that was, months ago. It was like, oh, my God, Aaron Rodgers has a calf injury. Oh, my God, he's an older guy and he has a calf injury. And it was like a 2-day thing. Now, Burrow's was more concerning because he hopped on it. Like he pulled up like, oh, boy. But, it could have been more of a cramp type of, strain where instead of like some kind of severe tear. And so when you have a strain to that degree, you keep running on it, you're going to tear it. So Joe Burrow was very smart to pull up as soon as he felt it and hop on it because he knew something was going on with it because he had the sleeve on it. And he played it right. He played it cool. He's Joe Cool. This guy doesn't, his heart rate doesn't go up. He could be in a hurricane throwing the football and his heart rate would be the same as if it was just throwing the football on a practice field with nobody around. His heart rate is the same. And you might think I'm joking on that, but there's actually a lot of people that have talked about this before, that he's got almost the temperament of a serial killer because they don't have the ability to get rattled. And pretty much in any scenario, Joe Burrow, that's why they call him Joe Cool, is he stays the same temperament. His heart rate doesn't really increase. He doesn't get nervous. He doesn't, like if the Super Bowl's on the line, he goes out there as if it's just a practice throw. And very few human beings have that level of calmness that he has. And that's what makes him so amazing. And that's what's going to probably shove him into the 1 to 2, 1 to 3 future quarterback conversation instead of always being in the 1 to 4. We keep talking about him 1 to 4, 1 to 4, 1 to 4. But this is the guy that probably has the most Tom Brady potential to become a guy that wins just handfuls of Super Bowls, right? At least on one hand, he could almost fill it up at some point, in his career. I think he can win at least 3. I do think he could win 2, 3 Super Bowls by the time it's all said and done. I do believe that. I don't know that he's winning 5, 6. I don't think that. That's gonna be hard to replicate. I don't know that anybody can replicate. I mean, it seems like somebody always replicates, the great performance. I'm not saying that we won't ever see somebody that can recreate what Brady did, but it's going to be awfully hard to win that many Super Bowls in today's NFL, with as competitive as it is and how teams change from year to year. It's going to be hard, but like in terms of getting the closest to being Tom Brady, it's probably going to be Joe Burrow over the course of the next 12, 13, 14 years. I think Josh Allen's a phenomenal player, but he's a player that's up and down, and I could see Josh Allen being more of the, he won 1 or 2 Super Bowls. How can you include him in this conversation like that kind of guy? I really think Joe Burrow is going to win multiple Super Bowls. I truly believe that. Hurts could win multiple Super Bowls, but I think this is the guy you're comparing to the GOAT at, 10, 11, 12 years from now. So, and Mahomes as well. Of course, Mahomes. You could even say Mahomes is already there, and basically you could say that Burrow is going to try and become the next Mahomes, essentially, if you wanted to, because Mahomes is there. Mahomes wins another Super Bowl, and it's like, he will be, I guess, the closest to getting to Tom Brady in terms of rings, probably. But this guy will get there in terms of clutchness and just personality and ability to win. And if you're creating a team and you wanted one guy, this might be the guy you want on your team, the guy you want to drive you down the field. Now, Mahomes is going to probably, I would say Mahomes gets another 2 or 3 Super Bowls in his career, because Mahomes still has a lot of time left. So maybe he does catch Brady. Every record's made to be broken. Let's just put it that way. So while it's hard to imagine winning enough Super Bowls to compete with Tom Brady's fingers and all that he has on his fingers, anybody could do it. Probably going to be Mahomes. If anybody's going to get to the Brady level of competition and play and the psyche and the calmness of the man, I think that's going to be Joe Burrow. So Joe Burrow, Mahomes, those are the top 2 dynasty long-term quarterbacks. I love Hurts. I love Josh Allen. I love Fields. But it is Joe Burrow and it is Patrick Mahomes. The Bengals will not win a Super Bowl anytime soon, says Card Shop TV. Well, okay, bro. They keep getting real close, my guy. I don't know what makes you think they aren't one of the teams that could be the team to win it when they're constantly defying all logic and odds. And 2 years ago, everyone said they couldn't win their division, that I was crazy, Card Shop. And then Joe Burrow took that team to a Super Bowl, my guy. Okay? They looked pretty good last year as well. I think they're winning a Super Bowl within the next 2 or 3 years, without a doubt. Without a doubt. 40 TDs for Joe Burrow. Let's go. 40 TDs for Joe Burrow. Let's go. Let's see here. Law in the 6th, 7th. Absolutely my guy. Law in 6th, 7th is fantastic. Let's open the phone lines, shall we?
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Presented by Mark Cleveland and TMT, the highest super chatter and gifted memberships over the course of this August month. August month. What am I thinking? I was like, what is it, September? Is it August? I don't even, half the time I don't know what's going on. This video, I got a little delay on this one. I'm going to try and finish part 2. The Bijan version, part 1's up, and part 2 will be on Jahmyr Gibbs or Pollard. I might go on Pollard so that we can give a little bit of a variety, I think, or I'm going to go Gibbs next and then Pollard. I'm not sure, but look for that video. I don't know if I'm going to get it up in time before the 8 p.m. show. I know everybody wanted one a day, but part 2's coming. So phone lines are open if anybody wants to dial in And, you know, you don't have to specifically talk Joe Burrow, but it would be a good conversation starter given that this is a Joe Burrow live stream. T-Law 67, love it. Love it, my guy. Okay, let's see here. King, appreciate you. Steve, thank you. Steve says hit that like button. Hit that like button. Damian Williams news significant at all? It is. We also have, we'll be talking about this at the 8 p.m. show, but Devontae Adams injured today. Tossed a hospital ball by Jimmy Garoppolo. Is this right here? Yeah. So Devontae Adams had to be helped off the field after colliding with 49ers linebacker Burks. And this is after a throw over the middle by Jimmy Garoppolo. You're live on the Fantasy Football Show. Who's this and where are you calling from?
This is Chris. I'm from Phoenix.
Chris from Phoenix. Chris, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear? I mean, like, how close are you to me? Well, you're in Phoenix. You near downtown? You're downtown Phoenix?
Wait, if you scream a little bit louder, I can get you.
Chris?
Yeah. Vinny.
Can you hear it? Can you hear it? Chris, appreciate you calling. Chris from Phoenix.
Yes,
what can I do? What can I do for you, bro?
I got a quick question for you. So a long-time YouTube member. I've been watching the show for a bit. I have your rankings and all that kind of stuff. And I work at a high school around here, and all the football coaches invited me to a league. It's next weekend, 10-man standard. And I've never done one of these before, and I have no idea what to do and how to prep for it.
Never done what? What have you done before?
Standard or 10-man. I've only done 12 PPR or like super flex or something like that.
Yeah.
So the standard part's throwing me off, and the 10-man's throwing me
So
off.
standard is ridiculous.
Yeah,
standard's ridiculous. This should be PPR at this point, but
I couldn't say no.
Quite honestly, the only thing that changes, because you got almost every running back's a PPR running back now, so there's not like a big discrepancy between standard and PPR in terms of reordering the running backs, but what it does do is it vaults running back above or equal to wide receiver in some ways, where in PPR the wide receiver gets a little bit of an advantage, sometimes. So I would say, depending on the lineup requirements, if it requires 3 wide receivers and 2 running backs and a flex or whatnot, you're going to want to lean RB a little bit, because traditionally in standard leagues, guys are old school, number one, because nobody plays in non-PPR anymore. And if you do, you're probably an older dog. These are probably a bunch of older guys, right?
Yeah. The main group of it are,
Yeah. So that's why it's that way. But you know what comes with that? Correlation. Guys that play non-PPR, they're running back heavy. You draft an RB. You get an RB, you get him early, you go RB, robust RB. Okay? That's how Dad did it. That's how I'm gonna do it. And so you gotta really be careful not to necessarily miss out on the opportunity of drafting against the grain. Going against traffic can be advantageous, but you also don't want to get like screwed out of RBs. So I'd say, like, you get a chance to get Bijan, you get Bijan. Okay? You have a chance to get Jamar Chase or JJ a little late, like 4, 3, or 5 overall. You just take it. You don't really worry too. Yeah, you're the 2 pick. I'll probably go Bijan, bro. I'll probably go Bijan from the 2 pick, to be honest. And then when you get back around to the second round, keep in mind you got a shorter round, so it comes back quicker. So St. Brown could be there. Olave could be there around 4 for you. London. You what?
I did a few mocks, so it was looking like I grabbed Chase at the 2, then I went Olave and Hall, and then Burrow fell in the 4th.
Yeah,
so that's kind of where I started.
Yeah,
it looks
that's
great.
good.
It also looks great for PPR. I don't know how much that changes for standard.
Yeah, bro, I'd probably say, you know what I would do is I would love to get Fields late or Burrow late. That would be amazing. Don't pass on Gibbs in 3-4. Don't pass on Walker in 4-5. Don't pass on Ridley in 4-5 in a 10-man. London and Watson are your friends at wide receiver later. Those are just the keys to it, bro. I can predict it now. You're gonna come out with like Walker, Christian Watson, Gibbs, Bijan, St. Brown, Burrow or T-Law, and you're gonna be fine. But that's how you roll, bro. Just keep an eye on the running backs, but also kind of feel it out and say, I could go I could go St. Brown and well, you're going to go Bijan. You go Bijan, you could go St. Brown and Olave, and then Walker and Gibbs fall to you, and then you're fine there. But I would just take best player available. Don't worry about anything. You start off Bijan and you go wide receiver. Don't force wide receiver, but if it naturally falls to you, then you're going to be so set up balance-wise, you don't have to worry about position. You just keep hitting the best player available. Boom, 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 boom. You got this. You're going to crush him.
Beautiful. I appreciate you.
All right, man. Go get burrowed.
Yep. Take it easy, Smitty. Thank you very much.
Later. All right, Chris from Phoenix. Nice to have a local call in once in a while. I like that. Let's see here. Olave in the 4th and redraft, and Fields in the 7th is crazy. Yeah, it happens all the time, bro. It happens all the time in grandma leagues. Everybody thinks they won't see it, but sometimes they do. No live notification. I don't know why YouTube does that, but that's your own fault, B-Man, because on my Instagram, I have a chat group that is a one-way conversation. It's a DM that you guys can only respond to with hearts, and emojis, but I can only talk to you guys. It's a one-way channel. And every time I go live, I send a DM to that channel. And so everyone in that channel knows when I'm live every single time. So B-Men, go to my Instagram profile, and these little circles right here, see where it says merch, highlights, live show. There's a new one called channels. Click on that and subscribe. Just when you click it, it'll open it up. Just click follow. You're going to follow a channel that will DM you every time I'm live, B-Men. And that way you never miss a live stream ever. Okay? Ever, B-Men. Ever again. Dial into the phone line.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Presented by Mark Cleveland and TMT. Until somebody knocks those two individuals off. If anybody drops a $51 super chat right now, you become the sponsor of the month so far on the phone line until someone knocks you off. All right. Joe Burrow to the moon. Joe Burrow to the moon, ladies and gentlemen. He's back, and he's doing it live. I'll see you all later. Appreciate you being here for this live stream. And we're going to go live whenever news breaks. Don't you worry. Little 30-minute show here. Little 30-minute, update news show. We'll do these all the time. I remember you saying something about on Threads like a month ago. Do you use it? I do use Threads, yeah. I wish a lot of you would go over there and use Threads as well. I think we could blow Threads up and make it as good as Instagram. I'm not straying away from Instagram at all. Rock out. Did you leave me a little message?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
I got my Burrow. He my hero. He be ready to score. Tessa in my lineup. He be killing. He be going. He be going. He be rolling. This is how we going. We be scoring with Burrow.
Thank you, Rock out. Appreciate you. I appreciate you. I'm excited to have Burrow back. Rock out dropping his daily rap. Appreciate that. And Burrow to the moon says AC. You bet your bottom dollar AC. Omar says, what do you think about zero running back strategy? I think that when you create a strategy that you don't use based on best player available, you're walking yourself into the fire. Omar, I like zero running back. But when best player available tells you to do that, if you walk in and say, I'm going to go zero running back without any sort of deviation or plan of pulling out and going a different way, Omar, that's where bad things happen. So do I like it? Yes. Do I like wide receiver? Yes. Best player available tells me to do that. Do I like running back? Do I like hero running back? Yes. But you got to play best player available every single time you draft. You cannot cement yourself into a strategy because guess what? Then you're drafting positions and not players. Okay? You can't say I'm going into the stock market today to spend $1,000 and I'm going to buy only stocks that are in this index no matter what. And then this other index is over here with the values all over the place. And you're just like, I already said I was going to buy 4 from this index that's tanking today. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's like. I mean, this is as simple as I can put it. You can't cement yourself in. But do I like it, Omar? You bet your bottom dollar I like it, Omar, if it works out properly and according to plan. Thank you, Last Action Hero. Thank you, Sir Dev. Appreciate you all being here. Fitzy, my man, the myth, the legend. Scott says, see, Omar. I don't know what that's about, but apparently he agrees with what I just said. Omar to the moon. Scott to the moon and Omar to the moon at the same time. Okay, Omar, I'm your coach. I'm telling you, high knees. I'm not mad at you. High knees. Get out there to sprint again.
To the moon.
Rock out. Any final thoughts? This video I'm trying to get done. I don't know if I'm going to get it done in time for today's release of part 2, but we'll see. Rock out. What else can I do for you? Anything else, pal?
Yeah, if you have the option to take St. Brown or Garrett Wilson, are you always taking Garrett Wilson?
Not always, but I would say it depends how many times in a row I'm seeing it. You know what I mean? Like if I was seeing it over and over, I probably would say, okay, enough is enough. Let's go St. Brown, baby. But like, I don't know. I guess I'm put in that position like very few times out of like 10 or 12. So then I just end up saying, you know, give me Garrett Wilson because I think he's top 3 to 5. But I think St. Brown's top 3 to 6, top 3 to 5 as well. Maybe the overlap's almost nearly identical anyway. Like I love him. Like we missed out on Garrett Wilson in the throne draft, and I wasn't mad at it. I love St. Brown. I love St. Brown. St. Brown could be the number 3 wide receiver in fantasy football. And yeah, real quickly, just again, as I've been saying, you know, and I know everyone thinks I just hate Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't hate Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't hate anybody. I don't hate anybody on a personal level. Jimmy Garoppolo, you know, he's a lot of players like him. And so, you know, he obviously is probably for the most part a good guy. Like I think he smiled and grinned when Trey Lance went down, and I know you could say he didn't mean to, he's just excited to get into the game or whatever. So whatever, however you want to interpret that. Like there's some things about him that I've been critical of. He smiles after he throws 4 interceptions and goes up to the podium and grins like he won the game. But I think, you know, at the end of the day, I don't hate anybody. I don't hate Jimmy Garoppolo. But Jimmy Garoppolo is not a great fantasy football or NFL quarterback. And part of the reason is he throws these hospital balls up to his players, and he always got Kittle hurt. He'd just throw a hospital ball up and lob this ball up in the middle of the field, and Kittle would just be like, wait for it, hold, 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 hold. And then the ball, about 10 minutes later, hold. I got it! Boom! Get hit! Smashed to pieces. So Adams was helped off the field after colliding with 49er linebacker Burks on an over-the-middle throw from Jimmy Garoppolo. All I'm saying is Jimmy Garoppolo throws hospital balls. Jimmy Garoppolo does not throw downfield. And as I've said 100,000 times to all the Devontae Adams truthers out there, it's just different. You can't say he's Adams. He's going to survive. He's Adams. He'll be okay. He's Adams. He'll eat his amount of his full course meals. That's not the way that this works, ladies and gentlemen. It's not. Jimmy Garoppolo, you know, he's just proven to either get injured or get his wide receivers hurt. And Devontae Adams is going to have to put his team on his back and carry them the entire season, and it's going to get him injured. It's going to get him injured, and Jimmy Garoppolo is going to maybe get him injured. And like I predicted all offseason long, I think this comes true, one of, if not both, of Devontae Adams and Josh Jacobs, one of, if not both, not guaranteeing both, but one of, if not both, will probably have some sort of injury that they don't come back from, like Cooper Kupp did last year, like Lamar Jackson did last year. Not saying those two needed to come back or should have. They both were hurt. But I think that Adams is looking out for his long-term health. And if he gets banged up in week 10, 11, 12, or Jacobs gets banged up in week 14, and they say, yeah, I'm going to not come back. The team's losing. If the Raiders have 4 wins in week 12, why would Adams or Jacobs want to abuse their body, shorten their career, and come back from an injury? So that's the biggest takeaway from if Adams does get banged up in week 12. Do you think he's coming back? You think Adams is rushing back in week 14 to a 4 or 5 win team if they even have 4 or 5 wins? I don't think so. Jacobs is going to feel the same way, especially Jacobs, and that's the end of it. So yeah, Jimmy cannot throw the football even 15 yards down the field. Hospital passes, all that. We'll talk about this on the 8 p.m. show. All right, we'll see you later. Rock out. Appreciate you, pal.
All right, see ya.
All right, I'm out of here. Thank you all for joining me for this emergency Joe Burrow cigar smoking live stream. Get out of here. Hit that thumb up button on your way out the door, and do it live.
The stack above all stacks. It's time to drop the pancake emojis in the live chat.
People are getting burrowed left and right, and people are going to remember it.
Get burrowed.
Later. Don't forget we're live 8 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. If you missed the show, genius, rewatch it. And I'm not calling him a genius to be, that's his name. That's his YouTube name. Genius, go watch the replay of this show. See y'all later. Later, Omar. Appreciate you. Later, Fitzy. 8 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. That means we're coming up soon. We're on the docket. We're on the queue. The show is ready to rumble. See you all in what? Less than 4 hours or whatever the hell it is. Later. Deuces. Graveyard show tonight as well, Tyler. That's right. People are getting burrowed left and right, and people are going to remember it.